Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Geek Vibes Nation. This is Tia, and this is the spoiler filled review for the Bad Batch Season 3 finale. If you're interested in a spoiler free review, I do have a written review at geekvibesnation.com, which I will link down below. But this one will be full of spoilers. So if you haven't watched the Bad Batch Season 3 and you don't want spoilers, click off now, come back afterwards. But if you are okay with spoilers or you've already seen season three's finale, hang out here, right? All right, let's get into this. I normally have a script that I go based on, but I just kind of wanted to wing this. I just watched the finale of the Bad Batch season 3 and I just kind of wanted to go on my feelings with it. Wow. What a finale, right? So a lot of the episodes in this season have been like what around 20 something episode, I mean 20 something minutes. But the final episode was around 51 to 53 minutes, which I was very happy about because I was worried that the ending would be a shorter episode. Now, it is my belief that the last few episodes could have served as like a little mini movie. Everything I think in the last like 2 to 3 episodes was leading towards this finale. And it was an incredibly satisfying finale, an incredibly beautiful finale. And I don't think a lot of people were expecting it. I think we were all expecting a lot of death, a lot of turmoil, because let's be honest, the end of the Clone Wars was really sad. And why wouldn't the Bad Batch season three's finale be sad as well? Last season, season two, we lost Tech. I think a lot of people expected to lose almost everyone, really, because in this show, no one has plot armor, right? We know based on Star Wars Rebels that Rex, Wolf, and Gregor have plot armor. They survive at least till Rebels. But besides that, we don't know the fates of really any of the other clones. So they could have very well just killed everyone. And I think that's what everyone was worried about. And again, spoilers, it was so nice to see a actual happy ending, right, guys? That was just so beautiful to see Omega, Hunter, Crosshair, and Wrecker grow old together. It was so beautiful, right? Because they could have ended the series on that beautiful shot of them just resting after this huge battle on Tantus. And I think that would have been enough to satisfy everyone. But then they go the extra mile to show Omega grown up, who looks beautiful, going off to be a pilot in the rebellion, saying goodbye to Hunter in this very warm embrace and everything. And I mean, just beautiful, right? The clones are all brothers. They call each other brothers all the time. But the Bad Batch just feels even more so like a family. You really, really feel that. And it was just such a beautiful moment. And I can't believe I'm gushing about this because honestly, and I've written this in my review for the Bad Batch season 3 premiere, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Bad Batch seasons 1 and 2. I watched it because obviously I love the clones. I wanted to see more Star Wars. I love the animation, but the first two seasons didn't grab me like this third season did, right? This third season had tight storytelling, it was really compelling, and the characters of Crosshair and Omega, who, in my opinion, weren't my favorites, became the absolute standouts in season 3. And I feel like I finally understand what everyone loves about them. I for sure thought Crosshair was going to die in season three's finale. And I feel like he kept trying to sacrifice himself as repentance for everything he had done in the first two seasons. And I'm so glad that his brothers, Hunter and Wrecker, instilled in him no, we are a family, we are a unit, and we're going to just keep going. And I saw someone online say that Crosshair joined the One Hand Club. And I mean, listen, he in this season went through an emotional journey. His bond with Omega was absolutely amazing. And he went from a character who really didn't care about Omega to literally saving Omega in the end. It was so amazing. Omega showed how much she has matured and grown, how the other children that were stuck in the facility of Tantus looked up to her, and how she got shit done. Beautiful. Letting the Zillow Beast go was also great. Seeing Rampart get his just desserts, Nala Se sacrificing herself, Hemlock getting the absolute ending that he deserves. Mwah, chef's kiss. I also love Echo in this, right? Because even though Echo is like, say, a late addition to the Bad Batch, and maybe he's not as tight with everyone as the actual people of Clone Force 99, he is a clone brother through and through. He cares about his fellow clones. He releases the clones that are in captivity, and they go as a unit. And it feels like a really nice callback to what we saw the Brotherhood be in the Clone Wars, right? And I loved it. I honestly did. I liked seeing the quick interactions between Echo and Emery, who, thank God, Emery, went on the side of Omega and the Bad Batch. And that was awesome. Very, very nice. I love seeing this little mini clone uprising. Now, I know that a lot of people and I know I'm going all over the place again. I'm not having a script, so I'm just word vomiting everything that's coming to mind. Everyone was so caught up into who is I forget his name now that I'm like doing all this, but the mysterious people that everyone thought was Tech or Cody or something, and it's just a guy, right? I feel like as a Star Wars, we need to stop trying to figure out who is behind masks, because we did the same thing in the Ahsoka series just for that one character to essentially be no one. I liked it, honestly. I liked that it kind of subverted expectations on that front. I thought that the battle scenes were so good. There was a lot at stake. I was at the edge of my seat. Who's going to die? Who's not going to die? And again, it was really nice. Echo, who again is a real brother's brother, he ends his journey with going off to help the rest of the clones. He's meeting up with Rex. Emery is with him. And then we have just the Bad Batch together, growing old and finally at peace. To know that Crosshair, Hunter, and Wrecker are finally at peace is just so beautiful. I will say that I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see Rex, Wolf, Gregor, Hauser, only because, and I know that we see the majority of who I just said in Rebels, but how does Wolf finally defect from the Empire and go off with Rex and Gregor, right? Hauser was such an awesome addition to the Bad Batch's show. I would have loved to see more of him. And I just love the clones so much. So I think I would have wanted to see more than them, but that's fine. We know that at least Rex, Gregor, and Wolf end up living past this, living up to Rebel. So what happened to Hauser? I don't know. What happened to Cody? I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know if we'll see that, because the next show after this is Tales of the Empire, which looks really good. And they're bringing back my man, General Grievous. I'm really excited about that. But I would love to see more of the clones. I mean, this is kind of the end of an era. We have not gotten any confirmation that there's going to be more clones. If we're going to see any of the Clones Rebellion or anything like that, I would like to see it. But again, no confirmation on that. So, as far as we all know, this is the end of the clone era. And again, it was a beautiful way to end it. It was such a beautiful way. As I said, Crosshair and Omega became my absolute favorites this season. I loved all the work that Omega did to help Crosshair get through his character development. And I absolutely loved in this episode, we see his hand shaking constantly, and then his shooting hand gets cut off, and it still doesn't stop him from saving Omega. Wrecker has this really great moment. I mean, if you guys caught it, I'm sure you have, because the whole internet has pointed it out, but the last episode was literally called "The Cavalry Has Arrived," which was Wrecker's first line when the Bad Batch was introduced in the Clone Wars series. So I thought that was a really cool comeback. And there's a lot of discourse in the Star Wars world if the people at Star Wars really care about their fans. And I think on the animation front, they show time and time again they absolutely care for their fans, and they care for attention to detail. And it was really cool. Speaking about attention to detail, obviously in this show, they are tying a little bit to the sequel trilogy, which is not my favorite. I personally am in the camp that I didn't like that they brought back Palpatine, but this show is kind of filling in the blanks of how that is possible and how that he was working towards that since the beginning of his reign. And I liked that everyone was kind of in the dark about it. It was that unsaid thing that us as the viewers know why he has an interest in Omega, but the people in the show don't. It very much reminded me in Rebels where they kept alluding to the Death Star, and obviously the people in the show have no idea what it is, but we as the viewers do. It's a very interesting storytelling, right? Because a lot of what we see is prequel stuff. And so even though you know how things end, it still feels fresh and it feels exciting that we're having the blanks filled essentially. But yeah, it was great. I loved it. The animation style again is just 10/10, beautiful. The story was amazing. I really walked in saying who's going to die, who is going to perish, and the fact that none of them did. And as much as we sat there and said that none of them had plot armor, because none of them have plot armor, it essentially means that they could give them any ending they want. None of these characters exist in other mediums. So who cares if they're living in a little island of Pabu having their amazing life? They can do that. And it's nice to know that there are some clones out there that got a happy ending because obviously when the Clone Wars ended, we saw how much of a raw deal the clones actually got in the Star Wars universe. I loved it, and I keep saying that over and over and over again. I don't know how to properly convey how much I loved Crosshair's whole entire journey, how much Omega grew on me. I find her character absolutely amazing and such a great role model, I feel like, for young girls out there and any viewer, honestly. Just she's an amazing character, so well developed and fleshed out. I would love to see her with Hera again. That would be very, very cool, honestly. And Echo, just obviously we all love Echo from the Clone Wars, but his character is so interesting in the Bad Batch, and I really like to see that he never stops his own little rebellion, right? Because we obviously see the rebellion going up against the Empire, but it's nice to see that there's this clone rebellion that really cares about the future of them when it seems like so many people didn't. So good. Such an amazing show. I am utterly sad that it's over with for a show that I kind of was just meh about. I'm so here for it. And I want more Star Wars animation. Again, I am so excited for Tales of the Empire. We had one episode in the Bad Batch where Asajj Ventress came back, and honestly, I don't even beforehand, I really cared about how they were going to make that canon, considering her canon ending was originally what happened to her in the Dark Disciple book, which is her dying. They didn't explain how she's alive in the show. They said they would explain that at another point. So I'm here for it. Let's do that. And I am here for more clones. I mean, I hope that the people who are behind the Star Wars animation, like Dave Filoni, knows that we care about the clones just as much as it seems he does. And I would absolutely love a spin-off show where it's Rex, Echo, maybe we see some Cody. We never knew what his fate was. Love more Hauser. And I'd like to see how Wolf actually defects from the Empire because the last time we saw him, he was working for the Empire and he seemed pretty loyal to that, even though he also was loyal to the clones, you know? Yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to see how Rex, Wolf, and Gregor end up living together. I hope they announce more because the Tales of the Empire releases May 4th, and I believe it's going to be all episodes dropped at once. And they're not going to be long episodes because it's essentially going to be like Tales of the Jedi, right? So once that is done, what is the next animated show? I know that we have The Acolyte coming up, but that's live action, and I want more animation. Anyway, I'm rambling and I don't want a super long video right now. I just wanted to kind of come here and gush about the Bad Batch season 3, how they absolutely hit the landing, nailed the landing, however you want to say it. They did it. Amazing. No notes, really. It was just so good. And it makes me even more of a Star Wars fan here. Just I love animation. I love the animates world in the Star Wars world. So if you feel like me, let me know. Again, this is Tia from Geek Vibes Nation. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you're subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure that you check out my live video from PopCon that I was just at recently. That was a whole lot of fun. And until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.